Hello everyone, welcome. The modding community has been hard at work keeping Starfield going this year more so than ever, so I wanted to make this video with my top 10 favorite mods, plus a few bonuses at the end, and these are mods that were released this year or maybe end of last year if I didn't get a chance to add it on my previous video of top mods from 2024. So without further ado, let's get started, and in no particular order, we'll begin with number 10, and that is New Atlantis Awaits by author Checker90. You may have seen this mod. I have covered this mod quite extensively, including all the major updates, and that is because it is just that good. The city has never looked more lively. On top of additional buildings that you have now surrounding the city, making it larger, more dense, the author also managed to put in different new locations, from a nightclub to a pier to a plaza and even an observation deck. It is an amazing work, one of my favorite mods, and that is why it is on this list. And if you like this mod, you're gonna like the next one. At number 9, we have Positively New Atlantis by author Relentless Positivity. This mod complements New Atlantis Awaits very well. It creates additional buildings all around New Atlantis, like smaller satellite cities all around. 100% compatible with New Atlantis Awaits because it only modifies the outside, not within the city. And with these two mods installed, from the observation deck, you can look out and it looks just magnificent. It looks now like a proper sci-fi futuristic metropolis in a distant planet. The buildings are not real. You can tell that, they're all fake buildings, of course, because the game cannot handle such a thing, but it is mostly for immersion visual purposes, so that when you're in New Atlantis and you look into the horizon, it's not just nature. Nothing wrong with nature itself, but in this situation we need a little more. Next, at number 8, we have one of the new releases. This one is Old Tech Pathfinder by author Sergeant O. This is a Star Trek inspired ship build. It is a completely fully featured, fully built ship that you don't have to do anything, and it's built very well. From the outside to the inside, it just looks so detailed, so amazing. And the interior feels gigantic. You have 5 different levels, and every level has different areas. However, the ship itself is actually a very reasonable size, at only 43 meters long. It is fully decorated with everything that you could possibly need. And it has a couple of surprises, like for example, this training facility where you can just spawn enemies and just kind of have fun. So it is very amazing, very impressive, and that is because it is from Sergeant O. Alright, moving on. At number 7, if you are more of a hands-on, someone who likes to build their own ships, like myself, we have Varum Ship Hubs. I believe this is the Varum Ship Hubs 2 by author Shadow Weaver 82. I really like what the author did when it comes to interior design of these ship hubs. These are some of my favorite ones. The mess hall hub as well as the armory, those are 2 of the hubs that I use the most. They are very detailed, very well organized, and particularly the armory, I like how everything is to the side, everything that you need, leaving you with a clear path to walk in between. And I also very much like the 1x1 bathroom hub that was done. I think it's very neat, very elegant, especially for something that is Varum themed, so that's why this is on my list. Alright, moving on. At number 6, we have the Apollo 2 suite by author Matt Rocks. this is the only pay mod that I have included in this list or in any list that I've done. So that's saying something. I do not usually include pay mods unless they're really, really good. And for me, at least, this one is that good. What you're getting is a player home located above the Apollo Tower. What I like about this is because it's such a well architectural design. It looks like something in real life. The planning that the author did in designing this house, everything kind of makes sense. Everything is very smooth. The transition from one room to another, one section of the house to another, everything is just so well done. And one of those architecture design choices that I thought it was really cool is the home theater, where you have this back wall glass that at the beginning you didn't think of anything. But then it turns out when you reach the upstairs gym area, you can actually see through the glass, and that glass overlooks the theater. So I thought that was an amazing touch. And just little things like that in this house is what kind of makes this so incredible. Now, if you're not too keen on pay mods, then the next mod is something that you can try. At number 5, we have the Kansha Neon Apartment by the same author, Matt Rocks. This is another very elegant, very thoughtful player home located in Neon. This one is free, but it still has the nice architectural touches that you see in the previous pay mod, but on a smaller scale in Neon Core. And one of my favorite features is the living area, where you have this large window overlooking the Neon Strip. And that is something that I've been waiting for a long time. Alright, moving on to number 4, we have Workmuller's Hunting Lodge. This is by author Workmuller. This one is currently only available via Nexus Mods. I have no information regarding whether it will be available via creations for Xbox or not. And this one is on my list because I enjoy outpost building. And what you get with this mod are these kind of hunting lodges or just lodges that you can put around your outpost. They are very well done, very different. This is actually a very unique item. You have different variants with more trees or just plain structure without any trees, without any plants. And they look really great. I always wanted to put something next to my landing pad for quick access, and I didn't want to put just another hub. And I didn't realize that this was what I needed until I saw it. The interiors are not decorated, but the author does include a few items, different variants, items that we have but with different skin, more camo skins and things like that you can use to decorate. But the structures themselves, they are very beautiful. They add uniqueness to my outpost, and because of that, it is on my list. Next up, at number 3, we have Village Home by author VM Rush. If player homes or mansions are not enough for you, how about your own personal village? And that is what you have with this mod. You get an entire village. You also have a player home here that you can decorate, but most importantly, you have an entire village at your disposal with NPCs and everything. This is just enormous. With vendors, with hotels, and crew quarters, an entire section with different rooms dedicated for the crew members. And all of that is all fully decorated, with the exception of your own home. That is a mini mansion that is still empty for you to decorate, but everything else is fully decorated and it is really amazing. You even have this museum located in the basement. Alright, let's go to number 2, and that is Earth Dome Home by author Downfall Nemesis. This one is a lore accurate player home located on planet Earth. And like every mod from Down for Nemesis, this one is very detailed, paying attention to the little things that makes this a really homey player home. This is kind of like the home away from home. It is cozy, it is well designed, and the dome has a switch that you can make it either transparent or opaque. Really like the coziness of this mod, and that is why it is here on my list. And a number one for the Star Wars fans, I got just the right mod for you. This one is Star Wars Mos Eisley by author Fox1120. And this is a very accurate recreation of the city of Mos Eisley. And it is very, very well done. And this is a fully featured city. You have your own vendors and they sell items, and all the items are also Star Wars themed. You have everything from the sand crawlers, the Jawas, as well as the cantina. You even have 2 player homes that you can acquire. Everything looks just very accurate. If it wasn't because of the hat at the bottom corners, you would think you are in a Star Wars game. It is very large mod. It also has dependency mods that you have to download in order for this to work. So you're looking at almost 4 gigabytes of memory. There's been an update from the author, improving some of the console Xbox compatibility. So hopefully it is running better for those who are on Xbox, particularly on the Xbox S. Alright, like I said before, I also have a few bonuses. So let's start with the first one, and that is Colony 1, the UC Space Colony by author Relentless Positivity. This one is a gigantic space station with vendors and even your own player home. It is currently in the early stages, so not the entire space station is populated, only the middle part it is as of now. But this mod is so great, it has so much potential that I hope the author adds more to it in the future. Maybe even get other authors add satellite offices of their mods in here, like for example Falkland and Star Premium Edition. I can see them having a location in here as well. You also have your ship services as well as workbenches that you can use. Alright, moving on to bonus number 2. This is actually going to be 3 mods that they work together to create Star Trek style teleportation. The first mod is the ship-to-ship transporter by author Niher. And then we have 2 mods. One is the Old Tech Lex Works by Sergeant O, as well as the Old Tech Lex Works Hub ship-to-ship transporter patch by the same author. And with this, what you can do now is teleport yourself to an enemy ship. So instead of just a regular vanilla docking into an enemy ship and then boarding the ship, you can now actually use this to just teleport yourself to the enemy ship. It is pretty cool. You do have to be fast. Once you disable the enemy's shield, you have about maybe a couple of seconds to run to the transporter and get teleported into the enemy's ship. Alright, that is my list of the top 10 mods as of the first half of 2025. I'm sure we're gonna get more mods, not to mention probably updates. I will be covering them as they are released, and hopefully, this keeps on going until we get a major update, hopefully from Bethesda. Alright, there you have it. That is it for this video. I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Otherwise, enjoy the game, have fun, and I'll see you all in the next video.